Hi there, Brent here. Got a bit of a different video for you tonight. At Christmas time, my kids asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I said a book on real estate. So this is what I got from my son Tyga. It's called The Real Estate Retirement Plan by Calum Ross with Simon Giannini. So today's video is a book report. Alright, so the book starts off talking about our retirement options are not that great. Let's see, page. It says, Canadians over 40 are bewildered because the retirement landscape looks nothing like that of their parents. Yeah, things are not like they used to be, that is for sure. And he goes on to talk about basically a Canadian pension plan is garbage. What does he say here? He says, I consider my yearly CPP contributions to be a charitable donation to the Government of Canada, without the tax benefits, of course. There is no guarantee that you will ever draw from this fund, and even if you do, it won't be enough to provide you with a solid retirement. And then he goes on to talk about market returns are not what they used to be, saying, simple math tells us that if the market returns are diminishing at the exact moment when many of Canada's coming retirees have meager savings, it reads like a recipe in a disaster cookbook. Yes. So it's a bit sobering thought if you're about to retire, like many of us are. But then he's got some good news, thankfully. He goes on to say that all of this adds up to one simple fact. Creating a stable and secure retirement without a lowered quality of life is now the responsibility of each individual. But let me tell you, without reservation, that there is some good news. While there are contemporary risks to retirement, there are also some unique opportunities for today's prospective retirees. So in the next chapter, he goes in to tell us what those opportunities are. And number one is the mortgage products available nowadays. And he goes on specifically to talk about the HELOC, which, if you don't know, is a home equity line of credit. If you own your home, you can go to your bank and ask for a HELOC, and you can free up some of that dormant equity and use it to invest. He says here, the home equity line of credit, HELOC. Essentially, a HELOC allows a homeowner with significant equity access to that dormant equity. Homeowners can do what they want with that money, and I strongly recommend that you invest it. And then the next opportunity he discussed with us is low interest rates. The major powers of the world recognize the situation we're in. There are few, if any, world economies that could survive a major interest rate shock. For this reason, interest rates will be kept low for so long as debt levels remain historically high. Since this is the case, we would be unwise not to take advantage of the situation. And he ends this chapter by saying, the evidence is uncontroversial. Borrowing cheap money and investing it wisely is the surest path to a safe, secure retirement in today's personal financial environment. Yeah. And then in the next chapter, he goes on to discuss how many Canadians misunderstand how and why real estate works. This is a bit of a read here. Most Canadians watch the value of their homes go up year after year. Sure, there are corrections, but everyone has a story of a parent or grandparent who once purchased a home for an obscenely low price. In strong growth markets across the country, price appreciation like this is the norm. It's not the outlier. Okay? We see this repeatedly, yet we fail to make the connection that purchasing and holding more real estate is the solution to our dreams of a prosperous retirement. Real estate wealth creation is a replicable formula. Using sensible leverage and capitalizing on the real estate trifecta of cash flow plus mortgage paydown plus appreciation, investors consistently earn impressive returns year after year. Our failed mental modeling around real estate comes down to these factors. Tenant fears, overestimating the difficulty of real estate investing, fear of an impending price collapse, misunderstanding the value of a team and knowledge, and analysis paralysis. Right. Then he goes on to talk about the power of borrowing money to invest and some strategies you can use. And then we get to a chapter titled Why Dormant Equity is the Laziest Asset You Can Have. Page 137. This one actually kind of shocked me. He says, "Yes, I've got my house completely paid off." A guy I met at a dinner party recently bragged. Boy, did he ever pick the wrong guy to say that to. I thought about what to say back to him without being tactless. A million things rushed through my mind. I had case studies, I had facts, figures, and 1,000 strong arguments. Ultimately, I just smiled and said politely, "I'd love to show you how to turn that into a productive asset," because I realized something a long time ago. Having a personal residence free and clear from mortgage might be one of the biggest financial blunders a modern Canadian could ever make. But people continue to do it anyway because it's a cultural narrative of our sensible middle class. The fact is that a free and clear home simply means living in an expensive liability. Pretty strong statement there. He does qualify that, and he mentions, for some people who are risk averse, it's not a bad thing to have your home paid off. But if you're wanting to make money, you should make use of that money. What else? He goes on to talk about in the final chapter of the book. There's a chapter titled "Real Estate More Powerful Than Any Other Asset Class," and he goes on to explain about mortgage paydown and cash flow and market appreciation and rental strategies and whatnot. And then he finishes up the book by tying things back together. It allows you to benefit from the enormous power of using leveraged money, and it is a stable, secure, and consistent method for growing wealth. Most importantly for retirees, it provides a monthly income that looks an awful lot like a pension during a time when pensions are, for the most part, nearly obsolete. All right. That's my book report. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.